Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rika and this is Rika Life. So I welcome you to another episode. This is going to be a whip and yarn chat. So feel free to grab a whip of your choice, a work in progress. Feel free to grab a beverage and we'll get settled in. You may be noticing something new behind me, and that is right here. This mandala lived on a different wall in my house, and I decided to bring it into this room. So now it's here, and you can see it. You can enjoy everything over here. And this pattern is Mini Rings of Change by Frank Orandel, and I believe it is still available on Ravelry, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if he's taken down his store, but as of late, he hasn't been crocheting. He's been doing other things. So Mini Rings of Change, I think that's what it is. I'm almost 100% sure that's what it is. But yeah, this designer had a lot of quite a few patterns, and they all ended with of change. So I just really liked his pattern, and I had this yarn, and I decided to do it as kind of a color repeating pattern, and so that's why it looks that way. And it's one of my favorite pieces, and I am so happy that it is now here. The reason why it is here is because my mandala that I had up there fell down while I was cleaning things. So you may be noticing some new yarn down here. I'm going to save that for my next video. I am expecting more yarn from Joanne, so once that all comes in, then I'm going to do one video and just share all the new yarn with you. I'm also kind of having a little bit of back pain, so I don't want to bend down and take things out and kind of move around too much right now. So I'm just going to sit and I'm going to crochet. I am making another baby boy blanket, which I think I mentioned in my, I did mention. This is what it's looking like so far. So that's what it looks like right now. So those are shades of gray. There's a very light gray, and then it goes into a darker gray. And this is a block stitch pattern. So the specific one that I'm using is a block stitch pattern by Crystal over at Bag O' Day Crochet. I'm sure there are tons more on YouTube. And the yarn that I'm using is, I'm using a mandala bonus bundle in the color Spirit. That's what it looks like. So I'm on that inside gray part, and then it will become a navy blue, and then it'll become a lighter blue. And then if I still need more yarn, then I'm going to use a Caron Simply Soft. So now you can see the color difference. These are two different shades of blue, but in case I'm running out of this, I'm going to add in some Caron Simply Soft. And that's just because I want to make sure the blanket is big enough. So I'm holding one strand of that with one strand of Big Twist Value in white, and this is just the worsted weight, number 4. So I'm holding two strands together, and I'm using a K 6.5 millimeter hook. That's my Susan Bates hook. And I'm just kind of using up my scrap white yarn. That's why this ball is almost finished, and then I will add on another ball. So that is what I'm working on. Feel free to grab something and get settled in. So yes, I bought yarn. One of my favorite yarns that I may not have mentioned before, but I'm pretty sure I have, is Lion Brand Mandala. So the Lion Brand Mandala is like a family of yarns. There are many different types within that. There's the regular mandala, there are mandala bonus bundles, there's mandala ombre, there is mandala impressions, mandala baby, mandala sparkle. The newest one added to that family is mandala gradient, and that's what's in that bin behind me right there. The mandala gradient yarn came out in, I want to say, May or June, and I have been eyeing it, and I have been watching the price. And then last week someone posted on one of the Facebook groups that it's on sale for $4.99. Okay, so just to let you know a little bit about the pricing, not including the bonus bundle, but most of the other mandalas are usually now around $9.99. Okay, and if you have like a 20% off or a 25% off coupon, you could probably use that if they were on regular price. These were on doorbuster sale, like on a doorbuster at Joann's for $4.99. So that's like half the original price. So, and they have all these colors. They did have some in store, and then, so what happened is I made a large order to pick up at the store to do curbside pickup. And what happened is that like half of my order got canceled because I'm guessing someone else made an order in the same time, so they didn't have enough in stock. So they canceled half of my order. So they didn't charge me for whatever I didn't get. They only charged me for what they gave me. So that's what I got initially. And then I was like, oh man, they canceled that part of that order and I still wanted those. So I decided, you know what, let me just do it with to get it shipped to my house and just do the free shipping. So that's what I ended up doing. And in that process, I was like, let's just get a couple more colors of the mandala. So I did, I've done 2 curbside orders. So I've done that, gotten 2 curbside orders so far. And then I do have 1 coming in the mail. I need to check the tracking to just see where it is, where has it reached so far. So I'm expecting that sometime this week. And once I get that, I'll be sitting down and then I can make a proper video and show you all the yarn I got, because I feel like half of it's not even here yet. So it's kind of like an incomplete thing to show you. And seeing as I do 2 videos a week, I figured I might as well let that video be, you know, a proper video and show you everything all together instead of in piecemeal. So that I will be showing you. What was I saying? So I wasn't able to get all the colors in store, which was unfortunate because I was very excited and I was like, you know, when you make an order and then you're just expecting that you'll get everything, but then they somehow cancel half your order. And it was kind of disheartening because I had already looked and seen what was in stock, and based on that I was putting in how many I wanted. But I'm guessing other people might have had it in their cart at the same time, so it just didn't work out that way. Anyways, hopefully the items that are being shipped just come together, because Joann's has a habit of shipping things from all over. So a few items might come from one store, a few items might come from another store, but I'm just going to again, I'm going to like keep track of what is coming in that shipped order and then what do I actually receive, because I just need to make sure that I get everything that I've ordered. So I am like totally excited, and I got some of the yarn, and so you can see I moved out all the things that all my makes were in here. So I have a duffel bag full of shawls to donate or sell and donate. And then I have an entire bag I put at the top of my yarn closet with hats that I made. So I do have, excuse me, I do have a kind of holiday market coming up in my community, and so I was thinking of joining that. And for that, my idea was kind of like, I'm gonna try to sell some hats and then do kind of like a buy one hat, and for every hat you buy, one gets donated to cancer patients or to the babies in the NICU. So excuse me, I'm gonna grab some water and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I just needed some water. I was getting parched. So what were we talking about? The yarn. Of course we're talking about yarn. So I put, yeah, so the hats. I am planning to do like take a bunch of hats and just sell the hats, and with the money that I make from selling the hats, I will then be able to make more hats to donate to the hospital. So that is my plan as of now. Of course, I put everything in a bag and I did not do a final count of how many hats I have, but if I were to estimate, I would say I have, I want to say at least 50 hats, but they're all different. So some of them are my own design, the Fresh Air hat pattern. Some of them are different hats I've made as samples for patterns that I've designed. Some of the hats are made with yarn I bought on Hobby Lobby and clearance. So those are kind of like really soft and lush and like fluffy yarn. Fluffy yarn. Like, not, no, not blanket yarn, but really soft yarn. Like Bernat Velvet type of yarn, but it's not that brand. It's a Hobby Lobby brand. So I do have a variety of hats, and I'm thinking of making even more. I would like to try and make about 100 hats, and that's just so that if people buy one, then I can donate one. So I can sell 50 hats, and I can then donate 50 hats. And I don't mind having everything there with me. I was thinking of actually doing like something very like visual where someone can like buy a hat and then take a hat and put it in like a box for donations, like something like that. But that box would be like open so that you can see that there's something going to donation. So I just have this idea in my head. I guess I'm thinking of something like a glass case or like something like that. So I need to figure that part out. But just kind of like maybe like a tally that these many hats were sold and so these many hats will be donated. Just something to make it a little bit like more interactive and more fun. So maybe it even can just be something digital. It doesn't need to be something printed out. And so that is what I want to do. The market is at the end of November. So we are in September. And so I have 3 months to make 50 more hats. I think I can do it. So I will be working on that. That is something that's going to be happening kind of alongside these bigger projects. I was able to wrap up some things, and so I don't have that many outstanding whips right now. I have a few, of course, there's always a few. And by few, I mean probably 5 or less. So this is a new one that I started, the blanket I'm working on now, and this was kind of born out of necessity because I honestly don't have any baby boy blankets that are made. And not that I have that many baby girl blankets, but I do have some blankets that could pass for a baby girl blanket, but I don't have any that can pass for a baby boy blanket. So I thought it was just good for me to work on one and to have one in my stash ready. So that is why I started this new project. Otherwise, I was trying really hard not to start anything new. I kind of just wanted to tie up loose ends and kind of just finish things that I had already started. Because I was organizing my bins again, I went through my yarn closet again, and I have one bag of all cotton yarn. I have one bag with bulky weight scraps and a bulky weight scrap project. I have one bag with worsted weight scrap project. And then I think right here I have one bag with, I don't even know to call them scraps. They're like skeins that are still like 3/4 of the way full. So I wouldn't really call that scraps, but used balls of yarn, I guess. I only have 3 bags here now. Yeah, I have 3 bags there. So one of the bags has my Karen skinny cakes, and I have 2 balls of them here. And I plan to make more Fresh Air hats, the one that's my design. I plan to make more of those with those 2 cakes. So that's what those are earmarked for. And I was able to make about 6 hats per cake. So one of the skeins is full, so that's 6, and the other skein I've already used it for other things. So that one, let's just say I can make 4. So that's 10 hats right there. That's one of the bags. One of the bags has what I'm not calling scrap yarn, but I'm calling like rather full balls of yarn that have been used. That's one bag. And I think the last The last bag actually has scraps. So you may have seen a community post of mine where I showed you my couch and I showed you that I had like really small scraps just all together and I plan to make hats out of them. So I am going to make probably, I want to say baby hats, but that yarn has to be really soft for it to be made into a baby hat. So I'll need to see. But I would like to use up those scraps. If it doesn't work for hats, then I will put those scraps into my worsted weight scrap project, which is, I think it's a corner to corner. So I will just add it. It might be a corner to corner or a granny square. One of my scrap projects is a corner to corner. One of them is a granny square. So if it's really not soft enough and it's really not working out, then I'll just add it to that bag and I'm totally fine with that. So I'm just trying to think right now. Of course, my list of whips is on my phone, which I'm recording on, so I cannot look at that right now. But off the top of my head, I had a crochet along that I was doing in the spring, but I don't think I'm going to go back and watch that now. So I think I finished 2 parts of that and we'll just leave it at that. So I'll just cut off that yarn. That was also using a mandala bonus bundle that was in the color Giant. So that's a very bright, colorful, rectangular piece. One option for that is, instead of following the tutorial for it, is to just wing it and to just make up my own pattern and go along with it, which I have done in the past. You know, I have started pieces which were a rectangle or square and followed a pattern for part of it and then added my own rows after that. So that is a possibility, and that kind of, I don't know, it's a fun project because it means that you can exercise your creativity. So I might just keep that and work on that myself and just kind of add on to that rectangle and make it a little bit bigger with my own design. That would just be fun. So I'm thinking I'm just kind of leaning towards that now as I'm talking out loud. Instead of I'm not going to scrap it because I've done, 2 weeks of work on it. Not 2 weeks, but you know what I mean, 2 parts of work on it. So I will not be scrapping it, but I think likely I will keep it and then just add on to it with my own twist to it. So we'll do that. That's one of the whips I had. This is another one. And then what else did I have? Okay, so I had started I think it was called a Christmas cookie crochet along. That was by the Crochet Crowd. And by now that is already done, but I was following the tutorial for that. That was a project I was making with Red Heart with Love yarn. And I think the color was Blushing Peach. I really fell in love with that color, and it was on clearance at Joann, and I bought all of that color, which were like 6 skeins. So I'm still on the first skein, and I have that. I think I must have put it in that bag, but because I was just trying to clean up. But I do want to work on that, but I just need some dedicated time. So something I have not told you is that this week both of my kids will be back in school. So we'll be getting back into that routine, and I'm very excited for that because that means I will then again have some dedicated time to work on my projects. I also have been starting my writing again, so I will be working on that as well as my crochet, the patterns that take more dedicated time and effort and reading a pattern, as opposed to these ones that are a little bit more mindless. And I don't say mindless to mean easy or anything like that. I mean mindless as in it's a repeating pattern and you know the pattern and can keep working on it even while you're doing something like what we're doing right now, which is I'm working on it and I'm talking to you. So easy in the sense that it's mindless and I know what the pattern is and I don't need to keep looking at something in order to complete it. So that's all I mean by mindless. So yeah, I need that dedicated time to sit with my device and to watch the video and to work on that crochet along. And I'm changing into navy blue. My color is going into like a navy blue. It looks like navy blue. These colors are so crazy. It's like such a saturated color, and it's looking like navy blue to me, but on the cake it still looks like it's gray. I don't know what's happening. Maybe there's shades of navy blue on here, but it looks like navy blue to me. I don't know if you can see that. On here it all looks the same, but this is gray and then this is like a navy blue color. That's the back of my project. But what was I saying? Yeah. So now, of course, I've lost my train of thought, but that's okay. Yeah, I was telling you that my kids are going back to school. So my daughter's school has already started. She's kind of getting back into the swing of things, but my son will be joining, and he is now going to the next class because as of August of 2025, he will be going to like proper public school and kindergarten. So now the class that he is in as of this week is like a proper pre-K class, and they're going to prepare him for elementary school. So I think it will be a little bit more focused and a little bit more demanding on him, but I'm hoping that he will learn a lot. And I know it'll take a few days to get back into routine, and that's okay. I am ready for it. Life is always ever changing. There's no constant. So I'm going with the flow and I'm embracing it, and it's going to be great. I haven't given myself any time to sit and think about what could happen or, be in an anxious state. I haven't given myself any of that time. Anytime a thought like that creeps into my mind, I tell myself to focus and to be present and that things will work themselves out. And honestly, at this point in life, I feel like things do work themselves out. And it's like you just kind of waste energy in pondering over things and, mulling over things and thinking about things. So now I'm just like, okay, let's get ready. Let's pack all this stuff. Let's go tomorrow. Let's see how the day goes. Let's see how the week goes. And, the amazing thing is that kids are so resilient. Kids are they adapt so well. They just, they don't have this sense that we have where we're always thinking about the future. They are very much living in the moment. And I would say that's true for maybe kids up to like age 10 or 12 even. They live in the moment. They are present. They are focused. They are just enjoying what's happening. Meanwhile, as adults, we have a tendency or a capacity to think that we can be in two places, or we can be here and also thinking about the future or the past. But really, it's the best thing to just be like a kid, embrace what's happening now, and when other things happen later, embrace those too, adapt to them, be resilient. There's honestly so much that we can learn from our children. And I mean, my experience is just limited because my kids are only 4 and 8, but I'm sure people who have older kids or have grandkids can attest that, it's just amazing to be a parent because you learn so much. You learn so much each and every day. So I am learning that from my kids is to be more present, to be more resilient, to be more adaptable. And that's why I'm going into, this month with a lot of love in my heart and a lot of joy in my heart and a lot of confidence that things will work themselves out, and just keeping a good attitude about it. So I encourage you to think about that, to remember when your kids were small, or if your kids are small now, and just how they see life. You start to see life through their eyes instead of just your own eyes, because you realize that for them, for you, some things may seem small, but for them, that's their whole world. So we need to give them the time and the energy and the importance for things that they feel are important to them as well. Anyways, I'm getting off track, but I just wanted to share that because that's something that's happening in my world this week. And you may hear me talking about that again soon because these are just life transitions, and hopefully it's a little bit of a, how do you say, a slower pace and just a pace where there's not too many new things happening in life. So I'm hoping for September, October, November, and December that we can kind of just slow things down, getting into a routine. And, that really helps me too because I thrive on routine. So, once I drop my son off and my daughter's gone, then I kind of have a little bit of block of time for myself. And I'm looking forward to that because I know over the summer I had so many plans of things I wanted to do on my channel, and I haven't even gotten around to them, and like a whole month has already gone by. So I don't know where August went, but it feels like it just flew by. So I do want to make good on my promises of what I'd like to do on this channel, and one of those big things was to make a beginner series. So I would like to follow through on that, and now that I'll have some time, I'm going to be working on creating that and working on samples, and then of course taking the videos, the tutorials, and then finally posting them. So I would love your feedback on them. Even if you are not a beginner, I would love to know what you think of those videos. And also just let me know in the comments, even from now, just let me know what kind of crochet videos would you like? What kind of things would you like a tutorial on? And I will add it to my list. So I am going to start a list of my own. I think I already did this before, but I'm going to just go from scratch again and see what kind of beginner videos I'd like to make. I always tell people who want to learn how to crochet that it's not even about learning the stitches. I feel like before you get to learning the stitches, you need to really learn how to hold the yarn and the tension on the yarn, and then kind of the stitches are a secondary thing, because I feel like that's such a big thing to master first. Is just, how do you hold this hook? How do you hold the yarn? How do you move it? All of that. So please let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see tutorials on, whether you consider them beginner or not. It doesn't have to be beginner. I just had the idea of making a beginner series, but I am okay to make tutorials for other things as well. If there are certain types of projects you've seen me making that you would like a tutorial on, let me know. Also know that linked below every video in the description box, I have my tutorials playlist where I have some videos of different things I've designed and I've made full tutorials for. So definitely check that out. I think I'm going to end today's video here. I really hope that you got a chance to spend some time with your project, and I did with mine, and it is growing, and I'm so happy to be working on this. That's the back of it. Hold on, let me show you the front of it. That's the front of it. So it was kind of light grays and deeper grays, and then now it's going into this, there you can see it. It's going into this navy blue type color. So yes, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I hope you have a wonderful crochetful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.